Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Passover's done, the Easter bunny's come and gone, the Masters Tournament ushered in spring and golf season, and we're wrapping up tax time. Now, these warmer weather and flowers starting to pop up everywhere tells us spring has finally sprung. Now, there's rituals that people go through that mark time, and the change at spring is certainly one of those marking of time things. People switch their tires. They prepare their summer vacation plans. Wedding season begins. Love is in the air. New couples wanting to form families and unite in spiritual fashion take that big step. So congratulations to all the couples getting married this year. It's a special time for each and every one of you. Mother's Day is coming up. I think it's about 2 weeks away. And we're going to talk about Mother next week. Now, last week was one of the two Hol HaMoed periods. Now, that's Hebrew for intermediate days, because the holidays, which last a week, have at least one Sabbath, which therefore suspends the regular readings of the Torah for the holiday. But to ensure you don't feel maltreated, our sages threw in repeat supplemental readings to keep you happy. And one of the special readings we went through as we closed out the Passover Easter season, we said the Yizkor, the public mourning. Now, it was an important time to say a prayer, light a candle, and elevate the souls of somebody you love, bringing their spirit love. Everybody, every soul, every spirit, every single one of us needs somebody to love. When the truth is found to be lies, and all the joy within you dies. Somebody to love. Don't you need somebody to love? When you love somebody to love, you better find somebody to love. Love. It's so important to honor the memory of those who came before. Someday, as I have said before, one last person will remember you for the last time. From that day forward, no one ever will again. Now, think about that reality, because it's a reality for every single one of us, my friends. So make your mark in the world. Your deeds and your legacy can live on. And this week we saw Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, a commemoration for the 6 million. Light a candle for them. Our deeds and our legacy are part of our coming together as a society. We expect decency among people. We're certainly not seeing it these days. We respect our differences and honor our similarities, as we are all connected to each other, even just as when we are all connected to those who come together in a showing of unity, as we honor all of us, those the same and those that are different, because we know how to put aside differences as we form communities. We form communities all around the world. And let's keep lighting candles for the hostages still. How sad. For an eighth of a second, people call for their release, and then nothing. Forget it. Move on. No, we must not move on. We must call for freedom for the true innocent victims. Now, universities are still hotbeds of anti-Semitism, and it's getting worse, not better. Hatred for Jews, hatred for Israel. Pretty soon it'll be open season for hate again. As 20 candidates of a national party in the land of the North have signed a pledge for an arms embargo on Israel and the recognition of a Palestinian state. All this, but the world is turned in another direction, because it has something new to focus on. It's got the death of the Pope, the once infallible head of state, the smallest state, but certainly one of the richest. Christianity is still the most populous religion, followed by Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism. Judaism is way down the list. And the dominant form of Christianity is the Catholic Church at 49%, with Protestantism a distant second at 24%. Now, the burial of a pope and picking of another is a fascinating process. And last year there was a fantastic movie about the process known as a conclave, called Conclave, which I bet has suddenly become the #1 movie. And it really was a great film. Now, conclave is a Latin word meaning locked room, which gives you a pretty good idea as to how the process worked. The cardinals were locked in a room away from the world, making a decision that would impact the world, for good or for bad. papal conclave became the model for the political backroom where deals were made and leaders picked. Society just keeps handing us the same things over and over again. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the white smoke comes out. And coming up in 2 weeks will be a fascinating double parsha whose title creates a completely different impression than what the reading is about. Now, the first of the 2 parts is called Acharei Mot, after death. The second is called Kedoshim, holy. Both are innocent enough, but taken together, it becomes a title of After Death Holy. It's what happens when anyone we know passes. They are beatified. We see that now on grander scale with the death of the Pope. No one has anything to say other than how great he was. We do that with the dead, but not the living. Take some time, my friends, and honor the living in your lives and tell them what they mean and the meaning that they have given you. We spend so much time with those in our lives who impact and improve our lives, but we don't acknowledge them. We can do it in the most natural way, as family, friends, as we gather and celebrate, because we celebrate as a like-minded group when we get together like we do as a collective consciousness of seekers who show faith. Any and all faith, because all are welcome. Any and all love, because all are welcome. As we come together as a community, a true chavura, fellowship, because we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing, bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we're always individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead, invite anybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, that we can all come together to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Hine Matov, Ubenayim, Shemetachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Ubenayim, Shemetachim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Now we support each other in this community, so let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space so that you can honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. And goodwill and intention are the roots of what you control, of what you can correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. And it's goodwill, energy, light, that we send out to help heal those you know that need it. Healing and renewal for all. Floats through space, finding those in need, so send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing, renewal, and love. Just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets, it's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. It is the tikkun olam that is part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And a part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and recovery and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick, although it is the prayer sent for the sick, but it's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them because we want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. We're decent people. Continue to send healing energy for the hostages still held, still in prison, still languishing in their pits of despair, the forgotten victims of innocence, and for those closer to us, for Al and Pal, for Charles and Dina, for Mean, for Miriam, for Straight Shooting Carson, for the young and vibrant Callie who possesses such an old soul, for dear Gabby, for Trevor, Jessica, for Julia, for the great Snoopy, who everybody was thrilled to see during Passover, for the Builder, and Bonnie, for Dave and Sabrina, for Maria, for Paul, for Pam, for Marlu, Lucy, for Shelley, for Winston and Ainura, for Alana, always striving to be there for all, for Fern and Johnny, gathering with some of their own family to honor their special birthdays, Kathleen, Carla and Mina, for dear John and Maria. And John, we hope you get well soon. For Doria, for Gloria, for Ronnie, Connie, for Tally, for Mayim, for Danny and Nina, for all those suffering and in need. Let's never forget the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere. For everyone you know and in need, for the whole world, and for Devorah. Friends, we pray for those who need prayer. It's the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out to circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat. Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Limotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now we left off at the birth of an order. We've observed all the ritual. We are witnesses to the first ordination ceremony, the creation of what many say turned into a Praetorian Guard for God. It's now the 8th day as we read Shemini 8th, and we see the creation of the priesthood and the new role that Aaron and his sons will undertake from this moment on, forever and ever, these riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, actor out on loan, riders on the storm. Now, what no one knew at the time was that this was an event which was going to change religious practice permanently. And again, there wasn't really much religious practice at the time. Religion was forming. Rules, rituals, everything was coming together during this period. So there was nothing. Now, you may not realize it, but we're actually halfway through the Torah. Congratulate yourself for making it this far, my friends. For some, it's perhaps your first time with the Bible. For others, it may be your 3,000 and something. And I bet without studying, you have all learned something new each week. Maybe you even saw how these words from thousands of years ago can still resonate within your own soul today. Now remember, I told you that before any liturgy, any prayer service, any formal observation from a religious perspective, there was a simple and easy daily routine that developed. And it only had two pieces. The recitation of what became known as the Shema, the ode to monotheism. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God, the Lord is one. There's only one God. Isn't that what it says? Isn't that what most of us have always believed? So there's no stretch there. The reference to Israel in the prayer was not about a place. It's a word that simply means he who has struggled with God. Right? So you can, say the prayer differently. You could say, listen, any of you who have struggled with belief, with faith, God is God. Whatever name you choose, Lord God, Creator, Spirit, whatever name you like, is it alone the source of all emanation. That is a very powerful statement of supreme power. That simple acknowledgement was stated along with the 10 things, the 10 words, the 10 declarations, known as the Asheret HaDavarim. No other gods, no images or likeness of God, no swearing on God's name. That's the oath, not swearing. Remember to cease, to stop the Sabbath. Honor your roots, your parents. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not be a false witness. Do not covet. What in that list would you not be willing to do? What in that list would you not expect others to not do? It's a simple blueprint for addressing the spiritual, the familial, the world around us. Now, the people had stood on the mountain. Each had heard the words of God telling them that simple formula. Now, privilege was being bestowed on a very small elite group about to become priests for themselves, for the people, for God. This was a big event, special, public. So shortly after the Great Epiphany, God was again going to appear in front of the people. Leviticus 9:23. And Moses and Aaron came to the tent of meeting, and they went out and blessed the people. And the Lord's glory opened to all the people. And fire came out from in front of the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the fats on the altar. And all the people saw, and they all shouted. They fell on their faces. So everybody sees this. The sacrifice that inaugurates Israel's priesthood is ignited by a miraculous fire that comes from God, not humans. It is supernatural. Now, religious practices, like I said, it's only beginning to form. Rituals are being created to fulfill certain things. This generation, the only one in history to experience the miracles, glory, and anger of God on a daily basis, this wilderness group, they see this event. The all-consuming fire is an important term for explaining what the people would see. Then, Leviticus 10:1, and Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, each took his fire holder, that is his incense holder, and they put fire in them, set incense on it. They brought forward unfitting fire, which he had not commanded them in front of the Lord, and fire came out from in front of the Lord and consumed them, and they died in front of God. The exact same description as the sacrifice that we just read. Were they too a sacrifice? I don't think so. Do we know their crime? Well, you know what? Not really. We can surmise it was inappropriate fire. That's what we like to say. It was inappropriate fire. And this is in relation to the incense burning. It's a special role reserved for the priests. But it reinforces what we talked about a few weeks ago. And we learned our level of expected piety increases the closer to God that we are. Now, the death of Aaron's two sons ends story time. And we return again simply to a list of laws. And we receive the first of the complex kashrut laws. The laws of food and what is and is not allowed. Leviticus 11:2. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, this is the animal that you shall eat out of all the domestic animals that are on the earth. Notice the list is now given simply as a list. You can eat this, you can't eat this. We are never told why. And isn't that the real question we always face? Why? Perhaps why is not asked enough, and it is the deepest of the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why? Now, we often ask why, and we rarely get an answer. And don't take because as an answer. It's not an answer. We all have the right to why. And it's a question we should be asking more and more, but we tend to do it less and less. Why don't we do it in the road? 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 No one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we? You never get an answer to that song. Now, the laws of permitting and forbidden animals adds further restrictions to the sacrificial laws. God requires not only ritual slaughter, priestly performance and location at the tent of meeting, but God delineates to Moses and Aaron which animals may be eaten as well. Notice the distinction: permitted, forbidden. It will be said time and again, with slight modification but similar meaning: pure and impure, clean and unclean. It echoes back to creation, everything from separation and division. Now, I'm not going to go through the list. It's confusing still to this day, spawning its own cottage industry. Many of the translations of animals, birds, and fish are guesses. We don't really know. But suffice it to say it ends, Leviticus 11:46. This is the instruction, Torah, for animal and bird and every living being that moves in the water and for every being that swarms on the earth, to distinguish, lahabdil, between the impure and the pure, between the living thing that is eaten and the living thing that shall not be eaten. This brings us back to that larger purpose of Leviticus. It's ritual instruction, yes, but to note the fact of distinction and how seriously and pervasively it is developed here in regard to basic function of life, eating. We see it with everything. We see it with eating. We see it with sex. We see it with every single thing. How much has this idea of division, distinction, segregation contributed to our ongoing view of life and how difficult it can be to not distinguish when everything's been based on distinction, on differences, on us, them, me, you. And how much does this foster our view of opposites? The world we live in, clean, unclean, permitted, forbidden, right, wrong, black, white. We see it in opposites. We know what the basic foods are. Leave out the pig who singled out, for animals it makes sense. Pasture animals are food. Hunting animals, including the big five, are not. Chickens, turkey, grain-eating birds, they're food. Birds of prey are not. Nothing that kills and nothing that eats the dead can be eaten. And fish are bizarre. They have to have scales. Except, of course, for the kosher lobster and shrimp, which so many seem to like. Now, it's not 100%, but it's a pretty good idea of how to best follow a relatively obedient kosher diet. Now, the actual kashrut rules are rabbinic and very complicated, much more complicated than this, right? But, keep it in mind. Eat of the field, not of the hunter. And the warning we've been given in the plagues comes back, Leviticus 11:45. You shall not make yourselves unclean through any swarming thing that swarms on the earth. For I am the Lord who has brought you from the land of Egypt to be for you a God, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. There is this great message here. Swarming things. I know you're tired of me saying it. It's the mob. It makes you unclean. God freed you from slavery and constraint. He is holy, therefore you are holy. Because of the spread of holiness, like the spread of disease, is a contagion. But in this case, it's a good contagion. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light, and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace, for freedom, for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, we're a community, my friends. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share the ride together. Men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, healing to all who need it. Learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving, be compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, aware, present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief. Never accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. Because we share together, we learn together, we help each other. Because we're each of us simply trying to find love, acceptance, and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. Because you're never alone on your journey. Listen to the voice of God as he, she, it, them, they talks to you. And remember, your connection to God and all he's created in body and in soul, it's a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of everything all around of us forever. Keep listening to God's voice, because God is talking to you, and just you when he's talking. Continue to ask questions and seek answers. Sit back and think. People asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them, there's no problem. Only solutions. Shake their heads, look at me, as if I lost my mind. I told them there's no hurry. I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. Let it go, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Share, care. Always be there for yourself and for each other, and imprint your soul on the universe. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Thanks.